Okay, today we're going to talk about percent application problems. We're going to use the percent proportion formula in order to solve these, which means we're going to have to identify the percent base and the amount. Now, these kinds of problems deal with it. We come across these all the time. We have sales that go on. They tell you that the price is going to be 25% off the original price, or it may be 30% off the ticketed price, or they have a 50% off sale. You want to make sure that the amount that they put on you there or charge you is the right amount. You want to make sure you get the best deal possible. So you want to be able to do percent type problems. Businesses use it as well. They want to make sure that they are making a profit, and they want a certain proportion. They also give incentives that you get a percent of problems. They use commission type problems. If you work on commission, you want to make sure that if you know what your sales are, you're going to get the amount of money that you deserve on your commissions. There's a lot of applications of percents. They're used constantly in everyday life. And so what we're going to do today basically is to learn how to do these. Okay, to solve an application problem, we need to do what we do if we're solving a number percent problem. And that is, we need to identify the percent, the base, and the amount. Okay, we want to identify the percent, the base, and the amount. Remember, the percent is fairly obvious. It's usually the percent. You use the percent that they give you without the percent symbol, or if you're looking for the percent, it's going to be your unknown x. The base, remember, is what you're taking the percent of. The base is what you're taking the percent of. It's usually what comes after the word of. It could be the total amount or the original amount that you start with. And the amount is what's the part of the whole that you're taking the percent of, and it's usually what you haven't used yet. So identify the percent and then the base, and then the amount is fairly obvious at that point. Okay, the second thing you want to do is set up your proportion using the percent proportion formula. You want to set up the proportion using the percent proportion formula, which is amount over base is equal to the percent over 100, which again we can write as amount over base equals the percent over 100. Okay, this formula is one we need to know, and we're going to use it again. Okay, the third thing we're going to have to do, of course, is to solve the proportion. And when we did just number percent problems, we were able to stop here because our unknown was what we were looking for. But in a percent application problem, we need to go one step further and make sure we answer the question they asked for in the problem. We may just have part of the answer when we solve the proportion. We may have to do something with that answer to get a final answer. So we always need to go back and ask, is this what they asked for, and is it reasonable? Does it make sense that this is what the answer is? Okay. Let's look at the amount for a minute in these problems. Okay, the amount in a percent application problem can be many things. It can be the amount of tax, whether it be the federal tax that you have withheld from your paycheck or state tax. Could be the amount of tax on a large purchase. Could be an amount of tax on your grocery bill or when you buy clothes. Okay, it could be any kind of tax, but it's the amount of the tax that's going to be the amount, not the base. Okay, the amount of the tax itself, the dollar amount of tax is going to be the amount. Commission on sales is also the amount of our percent, base, and amount. The amount is also the commission on the sales. The sales are your base. The commission is going to be your amount. The amount of a markup or markdown, that is the amount that somebody marks up the price. When dealers get in refrigerators or TVs or cars, there's usually a markup that they charge you in order for them to gain a profit. That markup is the amount that it marks up from what they had to pay is the amount we're looking at. Or if something is marked down, we have a sale and we have a markdown. The actual dollar markdown is the amount. Okay, the original amount is going to be your base. The original amount would be your base. The amount of the markup or the amount of the markdown is your amount. Okay, also if something increases, the number of people going to the park, or the temperature going up or the temperature going down, the amount of increase or the amount of decrease is the amount. Okay, these all represent the amount with our percent, base, and amount. These all represent that. Now, majority of people that have trouble usually mess up on the commission. The commission is the amount. The sales is the base. The sales is the base, the commission is the amount. And that's something we need to remember. Okay? Now, let's look at our first example.